Hey everyone, in this video we're going to go through how to qualify your trading mentorship leads so they stop looking like this little Indian kid here and start looking like, they've got money. Not little Tay specifically, but the money aspect of it. So how do you actually qualify your trading mentorship leads so they can start looking like this? Well, in this video we're going to go through exactly how, and we're going to first start off with the result of not qualifying the leads. Then second, we're going to go into how the ICP content targeting and how to target the right audience and the ideal customers you want to work with. Thirdly, and our second layer of kind of qualification is our VSL scripting and how to target through messaging and our script to get our ideal clients and qualify the right people. And then fourth and lastly, our last layer of protection is the application questioning. And this is basically the last layer before they book a call and actually get on with a sales rep where he has to qualify, or you if you're the sales rep for your own mentorship. So if you clicked on this video, you exactly know what a lead is, but I'm just going to go through and at a basic level just to so you can fully understand exactly what we're going to talk about. So what it is a lead starts off as a viewer and not as a lead. This viewer watches your content with this either Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok. From there, they're going to be filtered to go to your, link in bio if you have one, which you should be. But yep, from there, they become a lead. Now, what a lead basically is at its rawest form is someone with the intent of buying in exchange to solve their current situation. So that is a lead right there. Now, when the lead clicks on that link, they should be referred to a sales funnel like this. And it starts off with the main page. This is where your VSL goes. You have your title here, and you also have a start application, which we talked about. You can host this on either Go High Level, ClickFunnels, and I should have added in, Framer and Webflow and all that stuff, but I just kept it to these two. From there, this is your application questioning. So it's either going to be on Go High Level or Typeform, and it's basically just going to ask the prospects questions to qualify them all. Now, from there, once they, qualify and they become they're qualified for the application, you're going to then take them into a Calendly where they book a call, either on Calendly, iClose, or Go High Level. It's up to you. They all do the exact same thing. And this also lets your closer or exactly what time they booked a call. Now, from there, either on Google Meet or Zoom, the closer or you will hop on that call and close the deal, basically handling any objections. But usually if they're qualified, they have the kind of same objections, and you can really dig deep. The more objections they have, the harder it is to close the deal. So that's why we want them to be qualified, because we know what their objections are, and we can limit that in our VSL and all that stuff like that. So the consequences of not qualifying the leads. Now, the first one is the false demand problem. If the leads aren't qualified, you get lots of calls. And to begin with, lots of calls don't actually mean success. Yes, they mean it if they are qualified, but if you get a lot of unqualified leads, those lots of calls actually mess up your business. See, you'll get more calls, you and your sales reps will hop on those calls, and you have to handle so many objections. And trust me, some of them aren't fit for it. Some can't pay in full, don't have the buying power, and all stuff like that. Second off is the low close rate. So when they hop on those calls towards the end, they either have too many objections, they don't actually have the money for it, and they're not in position to purchase it. Lastly is they don't value the product. So if your prospect jumps on the call, the lead jumps on the call, and they actually you don't solve their actual problem, you kind of solve a portion of it, then they don't actually really feel like that product is of value to them. And with a high ticket mentorship, value and solving their pain is their biggest thing. And in order to pay $5,000 or up for a mentorship, that pain really needs to be alleviated, and they want to be convinced that they'll go in and you're solving their exact problem they have now. So if you hit the wrong ICP and you have a solution for the wrong ICP, then what will happen is these people will come in and you don't actually solve their problem, and they won't want to purchase, leaving you with a lot of objections about the price. So like we were saying, the closer will have to see if they're qualified for the service. If you don't qualify them beforehand, meaning more work, more objections, and stuff like that. And the closer we're dealing with more objections that they must conquer, which is a never-ending fight. And like we talked about earlier, the more objections you have to deal with, the least likely they are to close, and just a longer time to actually try close the deal. And it's a messier pipeline too. Second is a low buying power. If the leads aren't qualified, the demographic chosen may not be suitable for your high ticket mentorship. So when you're charging a high ticket price, you must consider these factors. Countries. So you want to avoid countries like Iran, like India, like Iran, like the Philippines, that have low buying power due to economics and also the state of their countries, the second world, third world countries. They're not going to be able to afford a high ticket mentorship at that price, and it's quite silly to target them unless they have a buying power, which maybe some do, but that's not all of them. Now, countries you want to target is USA, Australia, of course, UK, and Europe. These countries all have buying power. The economy's up. They want that problem solved, and they'll happily purchase it if you solve their problem. Now, second off is age. So with age, you want to avoid people who are 0 to 16 years old. Reason why I say under 16 is because firstly, you can't really trade unless you have, a fake identification and you trade off that. But mostly anyone under 16 also doesn't have the buying power to purchase that for under let's say it's $5,000 and above your mentorship. They usually don't have that. Some do, but you can make an exception if they're 16 and they have that purchasing. But mostly, if you target anyone under 16, they don't have that money lying around. Now, age to target is 17 to 40. These guys have much more buying power, and they probably have jobs and they can purchase that high ticket. Now, we're going to start off with the ICP content targeting. So with that being said, the best way to know if your ICP is being targeted is by using Instagram and the insight you get on Instagram. So first off is gender. You can see what gender is mostly watching your content. For mine, it's males. So you can target that male audience and really reach out to them and relate to them. Second off is age. So what age bracket is mostly watching your content? This helps you to understand who to target and who to really relate to. Like if your content is over 40, you're not going to relate to university or college content and be like, really relate to it as a trader, because your audience aren't watching and aren't that age. Third off, is country, like we talked about earlier, buying power, but also relatability. We'll go further into detail about this. I have some example down below. But yeah, you really want to know what country you're targeting, so then you can talk the slang and all that stuff. It just makes it so much easier, and you really can target them, like I said. Now, one thing to note about the Instagram insights, you need a business account first off, but secondly, if your account was an old previous account that you bought or that you used for your personal use, you're going to find that it's going to be a lot harder to target that audience, and it's really not going to matter because you will have old insights from previous people, maybe it's friends or family, and that's really going to affect your stats. So secondly is layering content. So I like to use this 3-layered step thing here. So first off is going broad and targeting entrepreneurs. So there's 3 types of content that you should be creating, and what you can start off with is targeting entrepreneurs. So using videos that target a huge bracket of market, which is entrepreneurs, because the sub niche of entrepreneurs is day trading or futures trading, if you want to be more specific, and that's what we've done here. So for viral based content, to get more people and eyes on your videos, you want to post entrepreneurial content. From there, you want to niche down just a tiny bit and make it, instead of day trading, make it futures trading. So the second layer is futures trading for this one. This basically gets everyone in your niche, which is futures. So some people have forex and futures. if you can niche down even further and just choose one, it really gets that audience and it creates you as an authority in the future space. And then thirdly, and the ICP and the person you want to be targeting needs to be this specific: beginner future traders wanting to become profitable. And that's ICP specific niche content. And that really draws in the people that you want to solve the problem. So you want to solve the problem of beginner future traders wanting to become profitable but can't seem to become profitable. That's how you layer it. Another way you can do it is identity qualification. So instead of qualifying skill level and quality, you instead of qualifying skill level, qualify identity. So what this means is basically you want to pair this up. So let's say profitability is the dream outcome that all these identities want. You need to pair it up with that. So if they're beginner traders, that's their identity and they want to become profitable, those are the people you help. Are they full-time traders that constantly lose and don't have strategy? Then you pair them with profitability. Basically, you just want to target an identity and someone, what do people in your ICP and that you're trying to target, what is their identity? So for this example, we have beginner traders. That's the demographic. They post content selling the demographic dream, which is profitability. So you really want to find their demographic and what their dream outcome is, and most of the time it is profitability, and that is the outcome you sell. Now, an example of what we talked about earlier is creating content based on your 3-layer. So we take this guy for example. What he does is he creates broad targeting day trading content. So this is his broad. He doesn't go to entrepreneurial. Some people don't, some people do, but day trading is a good place to start, just talking all about day trading content. And this really brings in anyone that's interested in day trading and see his page. From there, we'll go back. This is broad targeting viral content. So him talking about Alex G. Alex G is an authority in the space. He's big. And you can see it gets big numbers too. This is about him streaking the field, but 147, that's fucking insane. And that's what you want for new day trading viral content. That is in the niche of day trading. Everyone knows Alex G, whether you're starting out or you've been in the game for a while. And that's a good way to do it. Secondly, like I talked about, this guy does forex and futures, but he's a good example. Still, this is niche content. So, forex and futures traders. So he was talking about Justin Werlein and how he was, hopefully I said that last name right, and how he got exposed and stuff like that. And anyone in the forex or futures trading space, maybe not in the crypto, will understand who he is and understand that he is an authority in the space too. And that's just more content that all these people are interested in. And lastly is ICP specific niche content. So I like this one that you should be using depending on where your country is. And this is how to really directly correlate to your country. Do I need an ABN to trade in Australia? This single-handedly talks to, your ICP, which for him is Aussies that are starting to trade, because that's something that Aussies need to figure out when they're starting to trade. And that's a question that most Aussies that are starting to trade ask. In a different country, an ABN is just an LLC, but you get the point, and you can really get to the third layer of content, which is this one here, which he targets beginner Aussies, forex futures traders wanting to become profitable, and it's really niche specific. So, like I said before, with the targeting and the identity, Aussie beginner traders is the demographic, the content posting to sell the demographics dream, which is a profitable Aussie trader, is the outcome that his audience wants. So that's content for that example. Now we're going to talk about VSL scripting. Now, you should be qualifying the audience with the VSL script. The audience should know that the program is not for everyone. Fuck, I'm pretty bad at spelling. These qualification claims must be implemented in your VSL script. So let's start off with the first one, which is anti-sales section. Add a section that intentionally discourages certain people, and this is a great way to call out who your ICP is, and anyone else that watching that isn't actually the ICP will likely get the message and fuck off. So example lines of this is, this program is not for you. Sorry, this program is not for you. Another ones are, you want quick money, you can't follow rules, or you're emotional trader. This filters the mindset of some of these leads coming through, and it's just a perfect way in your VSL script to qualify or disqualify certain leads. The second is the effort barrier. This can be based on your guarantee and the requirements for the mentees to be eligible for the guarantee, or at a certain expectational effort the mentees must face through the program. So it might be to go through the whole trading in order to become successful. But if not, the guarantee doesn't. You might have a guarantee that if they aren't profitable after 2 months, they get their money back. And what that means is, but you can have in the way, if you don't do the work, that guarantee isn't sorted. So people are working towards, let me get this results, so otherwise I can get that guarantee, and there's certain requirements to that guarantee, which is you have to do the work. Example lines of this is, we take weeks of paper trading to learn this strategy. So this is another thing, like setting out the expectation of what to expect once joining the mentorship is better than actually hiding it and saying that you will be profitable and stuff like that, but not actually giving the details of what you're doing in the program. And this is a perfect way. You don't want to give out too much details, but you do want to set an expectation, which is it takes weeks of paper trading to learn. And other unqualified leads will say, oh, that's too long, I don't want to do that. And they'll leave before they even join the program, and they don't start complaining once they're in the program. And qualified leads will go, that's understandable, and whatever it takes to become profitable. So that's how you can, in the VSL script, call out your ICP and also kick out unqualified leads that you don't want. And maybe you want some of those. It's all right. So the last fortification before they book a call is the application questioning. And this is by far the most important part of the whole, qualification part, because you can really get to know their objections, and you can use that later for the end of call reports and when you're doing your sales script, so that you can give your sales reps the best opportunity to understand what their main objections are and how to solve their problems. And when your ICP is correct and qualified, this comes much easier because mostly everyone's mental is the same, and you can really hone in on their problems and give them a desired outcome. So the application questioning, the final layer of qualification filtering, is using an application that is basically either qualifies or unqualifies leads. So application and software that I would use is either Go High Level, like we talked about, or Typeform. I like Go High Level because there's so many things you can use on Go High Level, but other people use Typeform too. So these are the questions. Edit the writing and the questions to make it personalized. Don't copy the exact words unless it's something like this, but you really just want to make it personalized so that when they go, this is the third one I've applied for and your questions are all the same, you don't come running back. Anyways, so firstly is, what is your Instagram username? Now this is basically just a simple one. This username is for reach out and opt in case their details at the end of the thing is fake and they're not answering. You can always DM them, and it's much more of a way because usually they've come from Instagram, and so they're always going to be active on there and they're going to see the messages other than SMS and emails. So from there, you're going to ask the question, what is your main goal with trading right now? Now, you got get my first prop firm payout, become consistently profitable, and scale 6 figures with trading. Fuck, I just meant stuff that up. But what that is, basically you're using it for sales calls, an email campaign, and leverage. So once you know what their goal is, you can send them, personalized emails, basically honing in on that goal and, really creating emotion around it if they don't sell in the end. And that's just for follow-ups. So level of commitment. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to dedicate your time to trading? So if you want, you can have an unqualification if they do anything below this, And like I said here, I can't help you if your commitment level is not high. This just creates a barrier, like we talked about earlier, of the effort barrier. If they can't, or they're not committed to it, then they're not really going to be of help. And you can really, put them down on the scale of importance when you're doing your sales course. So second off, I don't even know what this is now, but what's your current trading experience level? Now, complete beginner, intermediate. If you want, you don't always have to do it. It allows you to pivot your content. So if you're seeing that most of the leads coming through are, complete beginners, you can create more videos around complete beginners because that's the lead base that's coming through. And based on your content right now, you're solving that problem for complete beginners, otherwise beginners or intermediates. But you choose, and you can always iterate. So if you're seeing that you're targeting complete beginners and you want intermediate people, then there's the knowledge to change. Then there's the pain threshold. So are you currently profitable? Yes. Breaking even? No. Losing? If they're profitable, they're probably not going to be joining your mentorship. So you're not going to get a lot of people because they have low pain. They don't really want to buy a high ticket mentorship. Some will, and most of them won't. I don't know why they would be even on there, but yeah, this really allows you to understand exactly their pain threshold. Break even, they got mid-level of pain, they want guidance to get back up. They're finding troubles, they take some trades, they make it back up, but they need more guidance. And then losing, this is maximum pain and needs help. This is the ICP you really want to be targeting. When they have a lot of pain and they're losing money, they will do anything to get back up, and that means buying a high ticket mentorship. Then it's, what is your biggest struggle in trading? So if you look at this, and my camera's gone. Wow. Anyways, what is your biggest struggle in trading right now? Now, the biggest trading struggle is finding strategy, psychology, and discipline and risk management. This allows you to then on the sales call that out and basically get your sales reps to really hone in on that struggle and their pain points around that struggle, and to make a good script and stuff like that. So what is your end goal with trading? This is a trigger point, so you can sell the outcome. So on the sales call, you can say the end goal with trading is, they might say they're either to drop out, to leave their 9 to 5, or, have financial freedom depending on what they are. So next is, do you currently work a 9 to 5 or attend school? So this is just the lead base. So when you create content, yet again, your ICP and what they're actually doing right now, and you can really create content around that. So if they're still in school, you can really talk about your school days and how you became a profitable trader in school if you were. And then the most important part about the application process is the cash qualifying questions. So these are basically the questions you're going to ask, and it basically comes like this: how much do you have saved to invest in becoming profitable? Now, these are really the questions that you really want to either disqualify them and sell them to a low ticket or mid ticket, or qualify them depending on what they say. If they say less than $1,000, if your mentorship is $5,000, you really just kind of disqualify them and get them to go to low ticket or mid ticket. Like this, you have a disqualified page that basically just redirects them and just to a video that just says you're not right for me, and then you can direct them to a mid ticket or CTA for more nurture content like YouTube, depending on where you're at. But you really don't want anyone under $1,000 because even they can't pay finance. 1,300 is probably okay because they can pay finance on it, and then 3,000 to 5,000, that's all good. 5,000 to 7,000 is all good. So from there, they're qualified, and that's all you have to do. They enter their details, their first name, phone number, email, and by checking this box, you really want to have this here so that when you send them emails, you're not illegally doing anything wrong. And that's where you can send email campaigns if they don't close or they don't show up, and also get them to book an Sorry guys, my camera died on that one, but if you're a trading mentor and you want help scaling your offer and really getting into details on qualifying your leads, or even just actually just building your mentorship, I can be of service for that. And there'll be a link in the description to book a call with me. You'll get through an application process for me, basically qualifying if you're good enough. But I want you to go through that application if you think you're right for it, and we can work together to improve and scale your mentorship. Without further ado, thank you for watching this video to this far, and I hope you enjoyed it and you gained some value out of it, and I'll see you in the next one.